Go woke, and you just might go broke. This is my first book after a 10-year hiatus. Before that, I've written 5, including 2 national bestsellers. Book writing is grueling work because it's more than writing. It's the art of reporting something fairly and accurately. It's about checking facts and sources. It's about giving people a chance to respond to criticism. Then it's about rewriting multiple times. You don't do this simply for the money. You do this because, in your heart, you really want to tell a story about something important. You believe your end product will spark debate and enact change. That's why I wrote this book. Something does need to change in the ethos of corporate America for the good of the economy and the country's well-being. The noxious ideology of progressive politics in the boardroom, aka corporate wokeness, needs to die 1,000 deaths, and you only do that by exposing the ugly truth. You also don't do that overnight. The left-wing indoctrination and the acquiescence of our CEO class and the companies they run didn't occur overnight. It started small and grew incrementally until it became the monster that it is today. It's entrenched in the fabric of just about every public company, and it's at least as dangerous as the left-wing bias in the media or the progressive takeover of the university. Yes, you slay the beast by exposing it, truthfully and journalistically, which is what I tried to do with Go Woke, Go Broke, a full journalistic account of how corporate America became something close to a foot soldier in the progressive movement. In this book, I have attempted to provide a sweeping account of this madness, from its humble beginnings with CEOs taking mild political stands to their full-on embrace of far-left causes like BLM, to where we are today, a nation finally coming to grips with the destructive capacity of corporate wokeism amid a backlash from the American public. A sprawling account of corporate leftism, though, wasn't the original idea. It began with Jonathan Brunitsky having seen my reporting on Fox News and my columns in the New York Post on the demise of Silicon Valley Bank. He suggested a book that focused on the once high-flying, tech-savvy lender to the rich and the aspiring wealthy in our ever-expanding land of all things internet-related, where management seemed to luxuriate in progressive causes as a side hustle. It was an interesting story because for a while, going woke didn't seem to matter. SVB was printing money until one day it wasn't. Someone seemed to have forgotten some of the basics of risk management, and in a few days, the place was toes up. Conventional wisdom was that SVB blew up because managers couldn't read a balance sheet and extended too many risky loans to startup tech firms that in 2022 and early 2023 were facing their first cash crunch in years. Jonathan saw, as I did, that what plagued SVB was bigger and scarier. It was a commentary on how corporate America had succumbed to left-wing agitprop. While the bank was engaging in risky behavior, top executives were touting stuff you might hear come out of the mouth of AOC or Bernie Sanders. Endless diversity, equity, inclusion, devotion to the gospel of environmental social governance investing. Its regulator, the San Francisco Fed, was cheering on the radically leftist Black Lives Matter movement. Corporate wokeness was as much part of its DNA as making loans. Great story until we realized that SVB was bad but small fry compared to the monstrosity of corporate wokeness in the American economic ecosystem, the proverbial tip of the iceberg. Soon, news of SVB was eclipsed by stories about Budweiser turning to a trans woman influencer in its marketing of the nation's top-selling beer, Bud Light. Bud's parent company was so obsessed with DEI metrics that someone in middle management thought it would be a great idea to appeal to biological men dressed as women to expand the beer's customer base. Yikes! Then came news out of Disney, another American cultural icon, no less, that it was using shareholder money to thwart a Florida law that prevented something seemingly innocuous, the teaching of sex ed to children, a parental prerogative if there ever was one. One of the nation's largest companies, which appeals in its programming and theme park experience to children, wanted to overturn the will of the people of Florida to make sure kids knew about gender reassignment therapy and intercourse between various sexes. I was pretty shocked, but I shouldn't have been, because for years, Disney has been sexualizing content in its movies and animated programming aimed at children.